Hey guys.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yes. So we're back again with another episode of the VARBAR. After a week or two, I don't know how long after the Christmas break, but we're back again with a new episode 215, if I'm not mistaken. My name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew, and I am joined by my compadre Jay to the Mace. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Can I say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to come to everyone, including you and the listeners?
Yeah, for
How we
sure.
doing?
For sure, we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
say that.
Sometimes I don't
We
know
missed-
whether Merry Christmas is a greeting after the 25th.
Is
Yes,
it not a greeting on the day?
now so after the 25th, do you greet
Can you
Merry
still
Christmas?
say
Do you-
Merry Christmas?
Yeah. That's
Nah,
so,
it's just happy festivities, man. Happy festivities.
I'll
Joy to your
take that
loved
one, man.
ones, your siblings,
Right.
your wife, your husband, whatever, man.
Do that. Happy festivities, everyone, and looking forward to a good New Year.
How's the Christmas period, man? Aside from football.
It was good. Taking time off from work and all of that, just relaxing, spending time with family, the eating, the drinking, and now we're back to watching football and talking about it. What about you?
Yeah, man.
Because you spent time in Germany, didn't you, for yours?
Yeah, man. I went to Germany for Christmas. Kind of did a different thing today, just spending the Christmas with just the direct family, my family, sorry.
Yeah.
So we just went away to Hamburg, and it was a different experience going into like having Christmas dinner not cooked by yourself or like your family members, but like going out to a restaurant was different. But to my surprise, it was extremely busy at that said restaurant. We went to like an Afro Ghanaian fusion restaurant. It's really nice. But it was packed. So it seems like a lot of people I feel like they can't be bothered with the whole cooking anymore because it's just too much. Yeah, so they just go to a restaurant. The restaurant, they charge a larger fee because they know people will come in. And yeah, man, but it was good, man. It was good.
Do you reckon it's kind of like column A, column B in regards to that people just can't be bothered to cook? Or do you reckon some people then just got the tech and they're like, you know what, let's just outsource this. Let's outsource it to the restaurants. So
I honestly feel like it's the former where like people can't be bothered to cook. Because you saw like a lot of big families in there as well. Then in my mind, I was doing deductive reasoning, like, yeah, I know the mum did not want to spend all time or the sisters, whatever, want to spend all that time in the kitchen. So honestly, it makes sense, man. And I didn't know that in Holland it's actually a thing where people actually go to restaurants and instead of like, not amongst the African community, but the other diasporas, they definitely do it. So yeah, man, it was just interesting, man. But definitely something I would do, possibly do a lot more, man. I'm not gonna lie. Even though
you have to
I
book
love the
that.
cooking.
You're gonna have to book it like a year in advance, because I think I was telling you, a colleague of mine, their family books it like a year in advance for the 25th. So yeah, it's gonna be lots of planning, but I'm guessing it's worth it if you don't have to do the work.
It depends on the restaurant you go to. If it's like I think a good famous restaurant or like a good all you can eat, then you need to book way in advance. But
bro, who's doing all you can eat on Christmas Day? That's greedy.
That even makes more sense, man.
I get it, but still.
That even makes more sense. I'm not gonna cap.
Standing in a buffet queue, like, yeah, you done with that? Okay, good. Pass that. The rice and all that. That's greedy, bro.
Is that not the same as you do a buffet when you're at home, bro? It's the same thing.
It's different, bro. You're not just standing with someone who you never met in the queue and all that. But
for sure.
Anyways, man, each to their own. But I like
Don't
the
knock
idea.
It. Try it, man. Don't knock it.
I do. I like the idea of it, but just there's something very homely and personalized and just nice to have like mom or sisters cook, because I obviously I got lots of sisters and they cook and it's nice. I don't do shit, but it's nice. In regards to the cooking, I just wait to be cooked and come in and do my pep.
No, definitely. I think like Yeah, me and my wife, we did have that double feeling of like it felt weird, different, not having like your family around, not having like, or just cooking yourself, or us being in the
Yeah,
kitchen or whatever. But I mean, the kids enjoyed it. They were just like,
yeah.
yeah, whatever. They're down for whatever. So, but yeah, let's see, man, what we'll do next year, man. But
All right.
yeah, like I said, but we missed out on 2 game weeks, so we need to get straight into the business. I think the last game week that we discussed was game week 16, and now we're already in game week 19, halfway through. If I have to just start with my beloved Liverpool, obviously since then, I think we've beaten Spurs 6-3. We beat Leicester 3-1 Thursday that just happened, and then the game that just finished, Liverpool beat West Ham 5-0. And I think the theme of like these 3 games is undoubtedly Mohamed Salah.
Mm-hmm.
In the Spurs game, he scored 2 goals, had 2 assists. In the Leicester game, he had a goal as well, I think, not an assist. And then in this game, he had, let me double check, a goal, not an assist. So right now, as it stands for this season, he's on 17 goals, 13 assists only in the Premier League. And speaking to a fellow Gooner, the one that holds the record for 2020, there's only 2 people that hold the record in European football for 2020. Thierry Henry in the Premier League, and that's
KDB.
Messi.
Is it?
No,
Did
that's
KDB
Messi.
hit like 20
KDB got 20
assists?
assists, but not
Okay,
20
not 20
goals.
goals. Gotcha.
Messi and Ronaldo. Sorry, Messi and Henry got the
Henry.
20 goals and 20 assists. But in the Premier League, yeah, your goat's record is kind of under threat at the moment. How do you see it? How do you see Salah so far, especially this first part of the season?
I mean, to answer from the first question regarding assist, if there's any person that deserves to break it, it has to be someone in the echelon of Mo Salah, because he's Mo Salah. The goals, the assist, and as he's looking, this looks like his last season, so it's probably the best way to sign off in his career at Liverpool, breaking that assist, but potentially winning them a title. Yeah, I'm not mad about it because at the end of the day, history is meant to be broken, and of course, you would like one of your own as a Gunner to do it. However, like from what we've seen from Mo Salah, if he takes it, and I'm just going to applaud it. I'm not hating on it. What was the second question?
Yeah, Mo Salah, man, he's been having a fantastic first half of the season. I mean, 17 goals in December is
Yeah,
kind of unheard of. I think only him and a few others have done it. He's done it previously as well. Haaland has done it, I
was
think, as well. But not
Salah
that
has
many
been
people have done it.
Salah has been consistent. When you actually check the stats, he's been consistent. The only
Yeah.
person who outdid him last season was Haaland, and that's because City were just on a madness, and perhaps last season. But so this particular run isn't new to me. It's something we've been knowing, and this is Salah's level, and he has been consistent for Liverpool. Um, and you know what, man, it is what it is. Like it just feels like Salah has decided that okay, this is well, from what I'm seeing, this is potentially my last season. I'm just gonna give him my all, and everyone is just like, you know what, fair enough, let's do it. And Salah is about to take Liverpool to the title. You can't be mad at
Do
it.
you do you think this is his last season? Just
I
from
think
how
so.
he moves to how he's talking, do you think that is going to be his last season?
Well, just so far, Liverpool hasn't confirmed they've agreed a contract or terms with him, right? So he hasn't signed a deal with Liverpool. There isn't conversations. There isn't like conversations away from Liverpool in terms of the news, the media that the contract is due to be signed. I'm hearing rumors that he's agreed or he will agree a deal with Madrid. I'm also hearing rumors that Trent has agreed a deal with Madrid. So there isn't any news out there that confirms that he is going to stay. Plus, let's look at the financial part of it. Liverpool are not owned by like Qatari or Saudi Arabia billionaires, right? So they have to run the business as a business, but as pertains to financial fair play. So how many stars are they going to offer that mad contract? Seeing as they gave Mo Salah an extension, and I'm guessing a high contract as well. So it's a lot to take on, and also taking in Mo Salah's age. Is it financially responsible to do that? Questions. So if I add 1+1 together, I'm going to take or arrive to the conclusion that this is his last season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're making very fair points from that point of view, 100%. Definitely his age comes into consideration. Is it conducive to give him like a super max contract? What else did you say? That obviously there's no news coming from Liverpool in terms of like any briefings to journalists in terms of like contract talks are close or whatever. I think Mo Salah just recently said in a post-match interview that we're not close to agreeing anything yet. But for me, I do have an incline, a feeling that Liverpool will get Mo Salah's contract sorted. I think if you remember last time in 2021, it was the exact same thing where it played out just like this, and he signed a contract actually after the season. You know what I mean? So I think it might be a similar thing again. The only problem with this, in this particular way, is that I think Salah is either at his ultimate peak and is gonna go downhill. So there's a lot of question marks, I think, from a Liverpool point of view, from a business point of view, let me say it that way, where they be umming and ahhing, and maybe they're thinking like, okay, Salah is at his peak of his power, but he's 34. We can let him go. We could get 2 other people to compensate for Salah. That might be the play. For me, I don't think they should do that. I think in terms of the 3 people that are out of contract, Van Dijk and Salah is they're the ones that need to be signed, sealed, delivered, because they are the ones that, you know, that are gonna be in the what do you call it, the follow-ups, their follow-ups. You have to I think it's important to have your follow-up already in house with the Donnies that are already doing it, instead of getting rid of the Donnies and then finding a follow-up. I think that's suicide. I think that's
sorry, just quickly on that point. If you look out in Europe, how many clubs have the main man and then have an understudy to the main man?
That's what I'm saying.
It's very difficult to find.
It's very difficult to find, but that's what I'm saying. I think Liverpool should do that. And I think Liverpool, in the sense of, it's not going to be someone like a Vinicius Junior. That's not what I'm saying. But Liverpool, at the same time, they're very good at scouting and finding the next finding the next Mo Salah, essentially, or the next Sadio Mane. We have been good at doing that.
Consider so this. When you consider this quickly, when you bought Mo Salah, was it from Fiorentina or Roma?
Roma.
Was it Roma? Roma, right. You didn't know if Mo Salah was going to turn out to be this.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So the thing is, and we'll probably get to this, to the Gunners later. The problem you have is trying to find a player that has the potential to be a world beater is absolutely difficult. Except you're probably playing out.
The Mo Salah replacement is not like for like. You're not replacing him like for like. You're replacing him with 2 players. You're replacing him with a winger that can create and get assists, and then you're replacing him with a striker that gets his goals. That's how you should replace Mo Salah. You can't replace him like for like, because I don't think there's a player out there like him like for like. So you have to replace him with Mo Salah needs to be replaced with 2 players. Van Dijk, I don't feel like he can be replaced because simply he is Van Dijk, and we've seen the way he's played out for years. As in, like, I don't see anyone right now in football that will come in the way Van Dijk came into our team and change our lives basically. Trent Alexander-Arnold is the other person who's out of a contract at the end of the season, and for me, in an ideal world, I would like to keep Trent. He's a child of the club. He's from the academy. You know what I mean? He's a Liverpool boy. But he's 26-year-old. He's reaching his peak. He's won everything that is to win with Liverpool. I really wish him the Madrid move. If Madrid is his next move, I wish him the best, honestly, because I honestly feel like Liverpool should not waste their time on Trent unless Trent really wants to stay. If Trent doesn't give the incline of him wanting to stay, we should actually free him up, because
Well, the
And this is
reason.
and hold on. I have a
Hmm.
message for these Liverpool fans as well that are onto Trent, that are trying to guilt trip him, that are trying to be like, yeah, he can't leave on the free. He needs to give us a fee. Like, shut the He doesn't need to do anything. If Liverpool wanted to get a fee from him, they would have sorted out his contract first a long time ago. You've let it go to this point. Let him go, bro. He's 26. He'll be 27 next year. The only club that he would possibly move to is Real Madrid. His legacy at Liverpool will be intact. Only if he stays at Madrid and comes back to Liverpool. If he does a Michael Owen and goes to like United or City, whatever, after the Madrid stint, then then his Liverpool legacy, of course, will be tainted. But you can't tell me if he leaves on the free, his Liverpool legacy will be tainted. That's just bitter from these Liverpool fans, man. They need to allow it, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the point I was going to make was the point you slightly made regarding the Liverpool fans. It would make sense. In fact, if you take Trent, Van Dijk, and Salah, the one that stands out that has the most resale value in regards to his age, etc., is Trent, right? So it would make a lot of sense if that Liverpool should sell him for a fee, because that fee you would use to replace Salah's replacement, as you've noted, that two players, etc. Because you need to get the money from somewhere. Granted, if you win the Prem, if you win the Prem, if you do well in the Champions League, that's money coming, right? So there are other avenues from Liverpool to go into the market to get replacements. But it would make sense. In an ideal situation, selling Trent would be an ideal. But I think the bigger point of what we should all consider is how Madrid are moving nowadays. And we really bastardish with it. They know that the days of signing players for high fees are gone. So what they do is to speak to those players and say, hey, you're running down your contract. Come over to the good side. Run it down. And we'll get you for free. They did that with Mbappé. It looks like they're doing it with Trent. Who else is running down the contract? They could even do it with Saliba. Saliba as well, Salah, Van Dijk, all of those, they just run down their contract. Hey, the game's the game, man. So I just feel like we should just accept that. And as she pointed out, if you're aware of the current state of affairs, you have to protect yourself. And sometimes I think what Liverpool are afraid of doing is to just demolish their wage structure. When you're offering a player X amount just because you're worried or you're trying to prevent him being tapped up or running down his contract. But once you do that, you ruin your wage structure, financial fair play, etc. It's hard in there for these multi-billion clubs, but it comes with the territory, man.
And in regards to the point that you made, that's one of the points that we make as well. Like in that sense, I do respect Liverpool for the way they run their business, But for me, like I said, everyone has a price. Everyone can go. I'm not too emotionally attached to players like that. But it's very important to replace well, and that's what I'm intrigued with. If Liverpool are going to do that, if they're going to replace, if all three are leaving, or one of them are leaving, or two of them are leaving, will you replace them well? Because they need to. These are not players that, if they go, you're going to be like, Bradley is going to be. Nah, you need to replace. These are the world-class players in your squad, so you need to replace them. Whether it's like for like or you deal with two players, that's what I'm intrigued about. So let's see how that will play out. But yeah, just before we move on from Liverpool, I have to ask you again, man. Your fellow title contenders, Liverpool. How do you see it? Now we're again 6 points ahead of Forest, who's second. 9 points of Arsenal, but you guys got a game in hand playing on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But we've got a game in hand as well if you play that game. So
we do.
How do you see it, man? Do you a couple of weeks ago you guys have said adversity will hit Liverpool and it might go downhill, or
I mean, you haven't really hit adversity, or so far it doesn't appear that. Well, it doesn't appear you haven't. Well, not necessarily. Like, when you lose that one game, I mean, there's different types of adversities, but from my point of view, you haven't really come. You haven't dealt with adversity yet, but there's a but there. It's just I feel like the way Liverpool is set up is they are very well prepared and very well drilled, and in their head they're winning no matter what. So when you deal with a team that has that mentality and position, what adversity? So perhaps it's the fact is that Liverpool have dealt with adversity, but they're so good so far that it just seems that it's seamless. And one thing you have to accept is just that Mo Salah factor. And having Mo Salah in your team just makes you guys so far impervious to any issues that come your way. Plus, you have Trent. For example, you see that Spurs game, right? The goal that okay, his name, Diaz scored.
The header,
right? Or the header. That was just beautiful. Only Trent could so far in the league can see that pass, execute that pass. Those kind of X factors are what Liverpool have right now that bails them out of games and make them so dangerous. If Trent isn't picking a pass,
do you feel like we're bailing out ourselves in games, or do you feel like we're generally?
I won't use the word bail. I'm saying like in situations where the game would be tight, where you have like a 1 or 2-0.
Like we got a moment of brilliance for
you have
more than
moment
one
of brilliance
person.
for more than one personnel's. And the way and I was going to I was okay, we're gonna do the Arsenal segment later, but I'll bring it kind of closer to this particular question. So the difference between Arsenal and Liverpool, from what I've noticed, is this: Arsenal build up their play via our defense. If you look at an Arsenal game, see how many times the defenders, William Saliba, Gabriel, have the ball. Our build up plays, it starts with them. I feel like that is what Mikel always wanted: ball playing like CBs that build up play, right? And
You
that
guys go
means
long as well, a lot though.
yes, we do, but that's because we have Kai Havertz. But yes, so his intentions that you press us, we just pass the ball through you and we score. Liverpool don't build up play that way. You build up play in the way that it goes quickly to you from defense to midfield, and then you utilize your wingers like the Mo Salah, Diaz really well, right? And it's just constant attack and constant pressure and constant pressing. It's so quick, it's so dynamic, right? And I hate to say I enjoy that type of play because it's a breath of fresh air in regards to my like Arsenal at the moment. But without kind of missing the point is that you have such good attackers, and that really helps you win games and put pressure on teams. The best defense is attack, right? So rather than like with Arsenal, we're meeting the low block, the Everton low block, right? But with Liverpool, because of the amount of attack and pressure you give teams, you just suffocate them because they're so busy defending, and the ball's just coming constantly that you just suffocate them, and you have players that are so wicked and so efficient. Look at that Diaz goal. Just slap that. The first goal, he just hit that through. Boom, let's go. That when I seen that goal, I was like, okay, cool. They're winning this. So yeah,
I definitely agree with you there. Like with our attack, and it's also the options that we have and the different types of attackers that they're all very different, but they're all very potent at the same time. You know what I mean? So even someone that isn't as potent in front of goal, like a Nunez, he serves his purpose for whatever he does. He serves his purpose, not by scoring goals, but the other things, just being a nuisance. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely hear you in regards to that, man. Yeah, like I said, after the City game, man, I expect us to see the league out from this point onwards, man. I think it's without a doubt, if we go on and not win the league from this point, this will be the biggest bottle. This will be the biggest bottle in Prem. Simply because City, the best team of the past 5-6 years, they're nowhere near it. So this is a chance for anyone that sits up top to do the most. But also Arsenal, who's been challenging for the last 2 seasons, are not have not been up to scratch, have been dropping points as well. So this is an outstanding chance for Liverpool to do what they need to do, and I expect us to do it, to be honest. But anything can happen in it. So yeah, let's move on. Let's segue quickly then to the Gooners. Then, in that particular time period, you've beaten Crystal Palace 5-1. Good win away. After beating them in the Carabao Cup, of course, and then a tight game against Ipswich on Friday, 1-0 win. And then obviously you're playing against Brentford on Wednesday. So, comparing those two games, then, so obviously high free scoring game against Crystal Palace, possibly a game that people expected a banana slip, but you know, Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus, the way he left from, and then Ipswich, which was a much more tighter affair. Obviously, Havertz with the goal. I think it was a cross from Trossard. Bukayo Saka, was it that game he went off, or was it the Palace game?
It was a pass the Crystal Palace game.
Palace game. So this was the first game without Bukayo Saka. Yeah. That actually sealed the fate of like Arsenal in 2024 in terms of the calendar year. You've been the best team in the league. I think most wins, least amount of L's, most points. Chat to me, man, in regards to those two games.
And I was touched the last point you made. Even though that the stats says we've been the best team, I feel like this year has been really weird for us. I haven't really enjoyed this year. And in truth,
and I understand why.
Yeah, I haven't really enjoyed this year.
I'll let you touch on that.
Because I mean, we lost the league by 2 points after doing so well. And then okay, you chuck it to you're going against a juggernaut in City, right? Come to transfers, and this is where I think this is the main reasons why we are where we are. Partly the main reason we don't really get our targets, and we don't do anything for me in terms of improving our attacking options.
That wasn't a narrative at the start of the season, though. I feel like the narrative at the start of the season from most Arsenal fans is like, obviously you got Sterling, Calafiori, Mourinho as well. I think Arsenal fans were like, we're good to go. Okay. Well, let's pick up from where we left off. We've added bodies. That wasn't a narrative at the start of the season.
The thing is, you have to ask yourself, from what Arsenal fans are you listening to?
But I mean, even from you, because I didn't hear you say about we didn't do enough in the transfer market.
I did say that we should have replaced, that we should have brought in attackers, but we didn't. But sometimes in that situation, when you don't, what are you going to do? You're not technical director. You're not Mikel Arteta. You just have to accept it. But anyways, alas, we didn't get anyone, and I didn't really like. I've told you about my position with Sterling, anyways. So getting Sterling was more of like, okay, we're getting him for cheap. Okay, let's see what he can do. Anyways, moving on from that, I honestly think we had a very difficult start of the season in regards to the teams we had to play. And that really affected, of course, you have to beat who is in front of you. That affected us in regards to the points we accrued and momentum. Not to mention, within this year, we lost Odegaard. We lost Saka for a bit. And then the whole red card bullshit happened, which didn't really help the situation. Yeah, and it's just been so close, but yet not there enough feeling in regards to 2024. So yes, with all the accolades, just shows that we have improved. If you want to look at the positive side, we have improved. We're challenging for the league, but it just feels like as an Arsenal fan so far, we need to win something, and 2024 hasn't brought us any luck in regards to winning, and it's brought us more despair, because what's the point of being so good but you can't win? And yes, you can chuck that to growing pains, and if you really step out and look at the bigger picture, it is growing pains. But when you're in it,
Come on, man.
When you're in
Chill
it,
up. Go on.
when you're in it, you don't accept it. But bigger picture is it is growing pains. But I'm not accepting that. I feel like we could have and we should have bought players we should have replaced, or actually have a backup for Saka. Right? We let ESR go, we let Vieira go, and to looking at it, I think they were good moves, right? Because I still stand on it. Like if they were that good, we wouldn't have let
It would
them
have been
go.
in the
Yes,
team.
yeah,
Yeah.
ESR is probably an argument to be had, but Vieira,
Hmm.
boy, to a point that he's just been left out of the Porto team because he's not good enough. Like he's not good enough for the manager. The manager left him out for technical reasons,
Yeah.
right? So, anyways, um, even with that, we're second. What was the third? We beat Brentford, which is a tough game in the new year. We come second. We are still in the title.
Hmm.
If we somehow win this title, this will be the greatest ever feat from an Arsenal team. What the second to obviously the Invincibles, because I don't think anything beats that except we do like a quadruple. That would be the greatest feat. But we wouldn't do that without getting attackers. Because let me just give you some stats. So this is
Rattle,
one,
rattle
two,
them,
three,
rattle them
four,
off, mate.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, Jesus Christ, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Top 18 goal scorers, no Arsenal player. The 19th is who Kai
So
Havertz.
from 1 to 18, there's no Arsenal players.
No Arsenal players. So
Hmm.
you can't win a league with that particular stats. That's just dire.
You are third. You are third highest scorers in the league, though, which shows that you have goals across
But
your team.
this is the thing. This is the thing that Arsenal fans and Arteta will probably use stats in regards to we scored the most goals last season, like last season, etc. But that when it comes to, for example, the Everton game,
Mhm.
where were the goals? You need a goal scorer. You need someone who will bail you out. We don't have that. And in games when we need the points and when we need to win, you need that guy or those guys. We just don't have that as well. So yeah, that's my frustration. And I hope in Jan we fix it. Something tells me we will get one, but not everything. And
Yeah, I think now that Saka's gone, I think definitely an attacker is gonna come. I don't know if we're gonna be a striker or a winger. I don't even know who, to be honest. People are
yeah,
saying Isak, but Isak, if you look at his contract situation, he's still got 3-4 years left.
he's got 3 years left. Newcastle,
He's got
a reporter from covers Newcastle came out saying that Newcastle is slapped of 150 plus
150 mil. So
mil.
I think
Yeah, so
any deal that needs to be done with Newcastle, it would have to involve a player. I think that will get them to budge, unless you're gonna cough up the 150, which I doubt
yeah,
anyone in January.
no, I don't think it's
Um,
going to happen. It's going to be more summer. I think so. Just a segue. I think the best move to get, and I was just because taking in some Arsenal podcasts and some Arsenal, you know, commentary on this, and they've convinced me. I like Mbuemo from Brentford. I think that style, that profile is what we need.
mhm.
Um, if not, then I would settle for Cunha, but I don't know. I think Cunha would be good, but I don't see Wolves letting Cunha go, especially where they are in the
Yeah, he
league.
wouldn't he wouldn't be cheap neither, but he wouldn't be 100 mil, but he wouldn't be cheap. I think Mbuemo is a very, very good shout. I think Liverpool fans are looking at Mbuemo as well as a
Yeah,
potential Salah upgrade. And Mbuemo has age on his side.
he's
He can be
24, I
pretty
think.
prolific. Yeah, he
Yes,
can be
10
pretty
goals.
prolific. He's quick. He scores, provides assists. He's technical.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Mbuemo's a good shout.
yeah, and I'm sold with him. Wem, I think he's got the right profile. 10 goals so far this season. Um, Decent XG. in regards to, you know, goals VXG 5.14, which is good. Yeah, that's but the problem is we need more. We need more. We need at least 3 players, and we're not getting 3 players in the January season. Doesn't work
what
like
do
that.
you see? What do you see realistically Arsenal achieving this season? You just said that the league, you still think you're in the race. So the league, what else do you think is realistically that you think can be
Well,
achieved?
this flows from the Jan transfers, because we have to get players, because
Now, obviously, we're before the Jan. I'm
yeah,
talking about now, right now, your team right now. You don't know who you're gonna get in Jan. So for now, is you're getting no one. So what do you think?
the reason why I've said what I've said in regards to Jan transfers, because you're looking at the semi-finals of the EFL Cup. That's against Newcastle. It's not
And
going to
inform
be easy.
Newcastle.
And inform Newcastle, it's not going to be easy. And this is back-to-back like games, right? So it's not going to be easy. You have to be aware of that, because that's essentially 3 games and you get a silverware. So that's one potential trophy. The FA Cup is one potential. We have to play United. You don't know what United you're going to get next year. But of course, we back ourselves to beat them, because I don't think they're not that good. Champions League is, we don't have pedigree in the Champions League, so you can't necessarily say you're going to win that. So if you don't have pedigree, you're basically just hoping for luck. So far, EFL Cup. that's it. That's the one that's so close to your reach. You can't, because FA Cup, you can say FA Cup. That's the most realistic trophy we have right here. And if, say, we win the EFL Cup and don't win the rest, would that be a good season? I particularly think no, but that you won something.
It gets the monkey off your back in terms of a trophy. That's how you see it.
Yeah, you won something, because Arteta's 5 years now. He's won an FA Cup. He claims and shamelessly does in his that the Community Shields are trophies, but come on, let's be real. Like, fair enough, you're probably going to say that.
Hey, he has the stat pad. At this point, Donny has the stat pad, boy. It's looking tight.
I mean, fair enough. And sometimes you just have to believe your own bullshit if you want to be successful in life, man. And I understand.
Do you still believe in him? Because the mood around the fan base, around I'm seeing people are thinking, because obviously, like in the game against Ipswich, where you play the whole game without Bukayo Saka, who's like your main creator, goal scorer, whatever. Martin Odegaard is the other one as well, but he was having a stinker himself. So then, in terms of like from a creative point of view, it was looking tight for the vast majority of the game. Even though you had a lot of the ball, you were pressing Ipswich a lot, but it did feel like Murich. You had good chances as well, but it still felt like Murich didn't do a lot. And I feel like in a lot of games, I felt like that with Arsenal, where like Arsenal get like 1 or 2 good chances, but it always feels like and they always have the ball, but they shut you out as well on the other side, which is good. But it feels like the opposition keeper doesn't do a lot. Do you have that feeling as well?
Yeah, I mean, yes, and of course, there's a clear reason why that's the case. And for me, I'm a bit annoyed and saddened that it's been a while since Arsenal has had a world-class defense, right? But we don't have a world-class attack or even a great attack to go with it. Because if we do have that, we will be quite unstoppable, in my opinion. People can argue, and this kind of goes to your Mikel point, that it's the manager, and the manager isn't freeing up the structure for us to play that way. And someone made there's a good point made on a podcast I listened, that Arteta basically, he makes decisions of what's the word, trauma, which is interesting. So so his decisions is of trauma.
He's basically shook based on things that happened in previous seasons or games. So he's now being extremely cautious. Is that the way?
And this is the thing, right? This is the thing. So back 2 seasons ago when we're playing that very quick football, but what City did to us, especially that game away without Saliba, when they basically just played more or less a 4-2-2 with KDB and Haaland.
Haaland.
What they did to us was just crazy. I feel that really taught Arteta a lesson, and all the games that proceeded after that. So he decided, okay, cool, I will make sure that we're defensively sound, right? So that would never happen. And essentially, I will focus on control, that I will win more games than I lose. And in total, when everything is all said and done, I should either win or I should be, I should be thereabouts. So ultimately, Arteta has to free the team in regards to attackers. But the problem is, we can say free the team, but if you don't have good attackers, what are you freed?
Yeah.
So for me,
he has to do it this way and go through the motions. You're saying until he gets more attackers.
I feel like it goes hand in hand. If we have, for example, that's Crystal Palace, no, Ipswich game, we had like 3 left backs sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
Right. If we had 3 attackers sitting in the bench and he's not bringing them on, now that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But we don't.
But he
we're
doesn't
not
have
in
the
that situation.
options, yeah.
It just doesn't have the options to bring 3 attackers. So
it's in contrast to Liverpool, right? Where we had today on the bench Nunez, Jota, Harvey Elliott, like at least 3 attackers, and even left one. Chiesa wasn't even on the matchday squad. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
yeah,
it's a good point. It's a good point. Before we move on, Lewis Skelly, man, the past 3 games, he's shown a good account of himself. Obviously, Calafiori is still carrying a niggle, so Lewis Skelly's been trusted as the left back. And specifically in the game against
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace. Yeah, both.
Mm-hmm.
I like how he holds his own. How old is he? 18?
Yeah.
Or 17? 18. Yeah. He's a man that holds his own. That's not to be bullied. And especially in the Ipswich game, they tried it. They really tried to rattle him. They tried to get him off his game. They tried to bully him, and he was not having none of it. But besides him also being very, very adept physically, he's very good technically on the ball. So you can tell he's a midfielder, man. How excited are you with that guy?
You know what's weird? I'm like, just do your thing, man. I just want attackers.
Hey, this is an academy product, man. Let's give him some shine, bro.
Okay, I do praise what I see, and I guess from the Sakas, from the Wanieris, from the Skellys, I knew about like Skelly before I actually knew about Wanieri back in the youth team. I followed this page, George, big up George, who he was just talking about Skelly, and obviously I tapped in, and he just looked good. Everything you see him doing, he was doing back at the youth stage. I think one big thing about playing men's football is having the ability or having the strength to deal with the power of a grown man. And if you can deal with the power, you're more or less there. Then the next thing now, the biggest thing now is your mental capacity playing at a higher stage, which it looks like he does have. So we have a star in our hands. The question now is left back his preferred position? I don't think so, because I guess I'm really tired with the inverting like left and right back. I just want, seeing what Kieran Tierney has done in the games he played in Crystal Palace, that was a breath of fresh air. I want an attacking left back, someone who can overlap, someone who can cross the ball, someone who can be a little bit much more just aggressive attacking.
I think especially on the right hand side, you definitely need that with Saka.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we had it with Ben White, but he's injured. So in regards to Skelly, I would like to see him in midfield. I feel like, and I understand it, one of the most difficult positions to play is midfield. It takes quite a lot in regards to going into that particular position and slotting in. The only player that's done it at such a young age is Fab, and that shows how good it is. And to a point, Wenger put him right on the right wing just to shield him away from being in the, in the
physicality,
midfield, which usually physicality. So even with that, Wenger was smart enough to understand that that's a hard position to nail down and to play. So I think we just give Lewis Kelly time. He has all the attributes to be a good player. You hear, obviously, if you're a fan, you hear more about his upbringing. He has his mom. His mom is very at his neck, and he has a good foundation. And boy, I'm happy. I just want goals, man. I just want goals.
Hopefully against Brentford, man. Hopefully against Brentford. Let's move on to the other team. Part of the top three, the past couple of seasons, Manchester City. They've had a bit of a shaky, couple of game weeks. I think the last time we spoke about them, they lost against United. Then they lost again against Aston Villa, which is crazy. Duran and Rodgers, Foden with the 2-1. Then they drew against Everton. Bernardo and then Iliman Ndiaye with the equalizer on Boxing Day.
Can we talk about that dude, boy?
What? Ndiaye? Decent, man. I said, decent player. I said it in the when Arsenal played him as well, where like he was the only one that looked like he was gonna do something in that game against Arsenal. But he's a good player, man. I think he's done an academy.
Rising Ballers.
Was it there?
Yeah,
like
Rising
in the UK.
Ballers. Yeah, Rising Ballers. Yeah.
Or Boreham Wood or something like that.
And Boreham Wood as well, but I sent clips of him in Rising Ballers. I was impressed. But I think what struck me with that goal against City was just how clean and technical it was. Just 1-2, took it down, outside foot, buried it. Yeah, he's looking really good. He's looking
good player.
Let's see how he goes. Is Everton the team for him in regards to his progression? Because those type of players, they need high volume take. So they need to be beating their man. They need to be with the ball. They need to be taking shots. But Everton is a little bit.
I think a step can be possible, like a Villa, Fulham.
Okay.
Dare I say Spurs?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, dare I say Spurs? I think that's actually a great shout. And because for his development, he needs more of the taking on, so we can see what he's about. But I guess it's baby steps. He just looks a good player. He looks technically sound. It's just exciting. So let's look forward to what he can produce.
Yeah, man. But yeah, City, obviously they drew in that game against Everton, and then today they beat Leicester City away. Savio with his first goals, Haaland again scoring after a while. Manchester City, man, they climbed into 5th place. I don't think they'll win the title. I don't think they're in the title race at the moment. But it's City. You never know. But like I said, if they win the title, it would be. We've all summed it up. The biggest bottle in history. If Arsenal wins the title, it would be the greatest title that it all boils down on Liverpool bottling it. That's basically what it boils down to. If the other two win it.
If City wins the title, just wrap this forget about the Premier League.
Everything, wrap the whole thing.
I don't want to see my team play next year. Just give to City again and again and again.
But in terms of the top 4, are they? They're currently 4 points behind Chelsea, who have a game in hand. So Chelsea can still stretch that to 7 points.
I'm looking at the table now.
Is that achievable for them?
It is, because the one factor you're hoping will level itself out is Forest. So they're hoping eventually Forest just starts drawing and losing, and then they pick it up, and that would basically sort them out for top 4.
Be their way in.
Seems feasible. Question is, how long can Forest hold this good run for? Do they have the part, like the bench? Because once, say, Morgan Gibbs-White gets injured, because he can get injured, or Chris Wood gets injured, what happens?
People forget that Forest, they spend a lot of money in this past 2 seasons, and I think let me have a look at their bench, but they have James Ward-Prowse, Jota Silva. Yeah, not really big names, so to speak. But Jota Silva's a decent player. Taiwo Awoniyi, Harry Truffalo, Ward-Prowse again, and then Sangare is injured. They'll probably get 1 or 2 players in January again because they've been spending bread. They only play once a week as well. I think this is perfectly set up for them to, I'm not saying top 4, but again, like top 6. They will be bitterly disappointed if they don't stay in the top 6, man, in my opinion.
I mean, fair enough, man. I think one thing they'll be happy about is that they're not getting relegated. That's for sure.
Right? Yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, you say 100%.
But do you think at this stage, obviously at the start of the season, let's not get relegated. Everything else is a bonus. But now at this stage, you're seeing, what we're actually doing is sustainable. We're hard to break down. We're hard to get beaten. We play once a week. Everyone around us is in Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, at this stage, you want to go for it all. I wouldn't blame them. I'll be doing the same. And it just looks like they have a good camp. It's nice to see Ola Aina. Aina. He comes out because that's on him, like the filthy fellas. He's done other things, just talking about like the camp and just kind of an insight into himself. And with him and like Cho, they look like they have a good setup. Very similar. If you clock, very similar to Fulham. The two teams that are having a lot of banter, a lot of like everything is easy going. They are the two teams that they're doing well in regards to where they were.
I think most of the English boys, they're from the same generation, innit? So at Forest and like the Elangas, Cho, Ola Aina, and then at
it will be the ESRs,
well, Bassi, it will be the ESRs.
Bassi,
all from the, so it makes sense. It makes sense,
so
man.
There's a lot of like comparison between both teams and how they're actually doing in the league and on the pitch. So the question is, where does the music stop for them? Could it stop at the end of the season and they're where they are, which will be an amazing feat? Leicester won the league before and no one thought they could. So anything is possible, man. It's just how long they can
winning
keep
the league,
going.
but they're the most informed team in the league at the moment. Five wins. So shout out Forest, man. And obviously you touched on Fulham as well. Fulham is another one of those teams that are doing really good. I think Fulham, they've dropped a lot of points and they're drawing a lot of games, but I think they're unbeaten in 7 games. So, but they definitely need to start picking up more 3 points, man, and turn those draws into wins. Bournemouth is the team that they draw against this today. It's another one of those teams. They're currently sitting 6th place, 1 point behind City.
Yeah.
They're doing fantastically well as well, with brilliant. They're doing it with good football. That has to be said. Not saying that Fulham plays good football as well. Forest, not so much. Forest, they're very, kick and hope kind of thing. But Fulham, Bournemouth specifically, man, in terms of the ball that they're playing, the profiles of players that they have as well, man. Out of those 3 teams, I prefer Bournemouth, man. Like, shout out Justin Kluivert, obviously a little bit of bias there, but yeah, I love Bournemouth, man. They're
that guy gonna score goals that end penalties, bro.
Hey, he's a top scorer, man. Penalties are there to be scored, bro.
Yeah, no, that's just a little shade from myself. I just want to see him score actual goals, like actual goals.
I
that
agree,
doesn't
man.
Involve
I think
goals.
that will be the next level for him personally, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out those 3 teams, man. They're definitely changing it up. I want to touch on United before we go to Chelsea, man, because United obviously in that last time that we spoke about them, they beat City, done us a huge favor. Thank you very much, Amorim. But then went on to lose to Bournemouth that we just spoke about. Another Kluivert penalty there. Went on to lose to Wolves that we just spoke about. And then tomorrow they got Newcastle at home. And everyone can already imagine that will be another L, man. And I'm looking at this, and every single time I'm asking this, is Amorim sure? Was he sure? I understand that every single manager that comes into United wants to be that guy. But it's not every day. Because for me, you need to look at it like if Van Gaal couldn't do it, if Mourinho couldn't do it, if Ten Hag, who was the Arne Slot at the time, the revelation manager from the Eredivisie, if he couldn't do it, who am
Yeah.
I? Especially if I'm in a good situation mid-season. Especially then, the context is mad.
It's a lot to deal with. But firstly, can I just say, fuck United, and like from the bottom of my heart. And to be honest, I was a little bit partial to United because I felt sorry for them. But every time I engage with a United fan, it just enrages me. And so I don't care for being balanced anymore just because they're annoying. You know, at least you can call Arsenal fans annoying, but there's a reason why we're annoying. Like, I get it, but United, I just don't get it. So why? Anyways, I'm not gonna go
13,
into that.
man. 13, bro.
I'm not gonna go into that. It's just the fans annoy me. At least have something to back up your chat. Anyways, you play shit football.
But yeah, let's talk about United, man. And
let's talk about United. Okay, let's do a brief history, right? Alex Ferguson, when he came into that club, he wasn't doing too well. It all turned around at one point, and then history was written by Sir Alex in regards to what he's done. The way I look at it is, sure, once you hit rock bottom, the only way is up. So you need a manager with a plan, and you need to go stay through the course, and eventually it will start working.
Back him.
Yeah, you have to back him.
That's what they tried with Ten Hag, right?
But Ten Hag, you can see from the get-go that everything he did sucked. Absolutely sucked. And the worst part about Ten Hag is that what really annoyed me is that he just couldn't let go of that Arsenal defeat. Since that Arsenal defeat,
Arsenal, boy.
And a year after, he just kept on going back to the. Maybe that was the flashpoint for him. Maybe he thought, we win that. If VAR didn't fuck us over, we win that, and I would have been bigger than Sir Alex Ferguson. We don't know. You know, shit happens in regards to that. Maybe he feels like that was a flashpoint, and what proceeded after screwed me over. You know, because what I remember, that was informed Rashford scoring, he scored, etc. So it was looking good for him, perhaps. But take that out of the equation. Didn't see any good football from him, right? In regards to a plan, he didn't have a plan. He might think he had a plan. He didn't have a plan, especially on the pitch. And what kills you as a manager is if you don't have the backing of your players. If your players are not going out there to die for you on the pitch, you're fucked. You're screwed, right? And the Sancho situation, right? That didn't help him, to be honest. It didn't for me look like any of the players were actually going on the pitch to play for the manager, right? So no backing. Let's bring it to
Amorim. Let's bring it to
I
Amorim.
will. I'm getting there. So no backing from his team. Amorim is different. The first game I can see he had a plan, right? The first game I can see something is there. He set up something to work. There's a plan. There's a style of play. Now, the next step, which is the hardest step, is to get your team consistently playing that style of play, and also get them to a level where they're competing with the top teams in the Prem. That takes a while. So at this point, you're going to lose more than you win because everything is new. Whilst doing that, you have to replace personnel. The way bloody Ineos is moving like Scrooge McDuck is crazy. So he's either saving his pennies to do a madness in the January transfer or summer transfer, which perhaps that's the only rationale I'm thinking. Okay, he's saving money here because he knows, right, we need better players, right? So I'm gonna go ham in the summer transfer, right? So that's the only thing that makes sense in regards to what Ineos is doing, because apart from that, he's just moving like an absolutely madman in regards to what he's doing. But away from the pitch, that infrastructure of United is just crazy. Rats everywhere, what's it called? Like their stadium is falling apart. It's all going to shit. Just because United as a club really more or less okay, died is a bit of it's too much, but it fell off a cliff after Alex Ferguson, and after that nothing happened. I didn't see them fixing anything. There was nothing for the future. They messed it up. I know bringing up tabs. I kept on saying that Ronaldo transfer wasn't the right transfer because they should have just focused on the future. It didn't happen. But here we are with Amarin. Give him time. If it doesn't work, fair enough. But surely the statue of United, they would eventually get it right. Because they're not getting relegated anytime soon. I hope. So we just have to give it time with Amarin. The making of a good manager is how the team plays, because that's your DNA. Your team basically reflects you. And if your team is playing good football, from what we can see, they do play so far. I think the way they play is good. I just don't like the win back thing. I just don't like it. Like only very few managers.
I think the wing back things, you need to really have good wing backs to really do it. And I think that goes to your point that they need to be really creative on the transfer market and get the players that fit. Not necessarily the best players or good players, but the players that fit Ruben Amorim style. And I think with that, they can be successful, man. I think one thing you was talking about Arsenal's attack. I think United's attack is even worse. It's one of the worst top team attacks in the league, man. Like Højlund, I'm of the belief of giving players one season and then judge them in the next season. Yeah. He's not. I know he's young, but his ceiling is very close to wherever he is right now. I don't think he's gonna shatter that. Rashford, he's nowhere to be seen. Ahmad is the only shining light in that United attack. Garnacho, I've said it time and time again. I like the looks of him, but he's very, very, very wasteful in terms of chance creation and also like converting. He's very wasteful at both ends. The funny thing is with Ahmad is he's running. Anthony, let's not start there as well. He's extremely poor. Ahmad is out of a contract at the end of the season. I think not many people know that as well. He's out of a contract in 2025 in the summer. There's whispers saying that he might not sign, and there's teams looking to take him, especially outside of the Prem in January already. What are your thoughts? Do you think he's gonna sign a contract, or he's looking to jump ship?
I like him, Ahmad.
People even said Arsenal are looking to grab him.
If United are smart, they should give him a contract. The only question mark I have with Ahmad is his ceiling. I think he's a very decent player. It's just what we think he can.
Is high, man.
This is the thing.
Ceiling is high. But I think Ahmad is one of them that needs to be in a team full of good players. Yeah. I think at the age that he is and the stage of his development, he needs to be in a team that's like moving. That's like a Chelsea, for example. I think he would be sick at Chelsea instead of Neto. Because Neto, for all that he is, we're going to touch on Chelsea, but we'll touch on that. But I think he'll be a shoo-in for that right wing spot in that Chelsea team instead of Neto, in my opinion.
You know what? With Ahmad, I don't know why my gut is like, just go back to Italy.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, let's go back to Italy. Go back to Gasperini, because he has a great track record of turning attackers into world beaters. Like, they're doing well. So go back.
He came from there, innit?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, that's why I use Atalanta. But I just feel like United will lock him down, because he's the one positive in that team, and it would be disastrous just to sell him or let him go on a free. And if they do it, more power to them. Who am I to argue? But yeah, let's move on from that crap team.
Let's move on, man. United Newcastle Monday will be hate watching that for sure. Just to close off, man, let's touch on Chelsea, man, because obviously they're having a fantastic season as well. Yeah. But I think since the last time we spoke about them, they've been having a bit of a higgy results. 0-0 against Everton. Everton are just slaying all of our competitions one by one. I love it. And then
this is what I mean about 2024, right? This is what I mean about 2024 really quickly. That's why I hate 2024. Everton went on a run of just slaying and drawing. Liverpool missed it. You know, like it's just that kind of season a year for Arsenal is so annoying. Like that's a potential point dropper. You missed it.
Yeah. We would have definitely dropped points. Every Liverpool fan knew that because there was no Konate. Them man were fired up, yeah. But anyways, let's move on. That's a story for another day. And then obviously on Boxing Day, Chelsea had the West London derby against Fulham that they lost. I was watching that with a keen eye, man, and very, very good game, man. Very entertaining game, man. And again, Marcus Silva's Fulham, kudos to them because they are, and it even makes our draw against them at home with 10 man even more impressive because the way Fulham can be so relentless and so direct is crazy, and they stuck it on Chelsea in that second half, especially the second part of the second half, man, and they fully deserve the win on the basis of that. But what I wanted to say in regards to Pedro Neto, because obviously he was a right winger that every top team wanted to add to their roster. Now that we're seeing him in a few games at Chelsea, what have you made of him? Because but what have you made of him?
I'll have him in my team. He seems very annoying. Like he's the type of player has the potential to just be brazy about it and just explode, but it comes now and again. So, for example, that goal against Arsenal, that left foot buried it. It's like, wow, if you can do this, if you have that consistency in you would be a world beater, right? Then another example is the Iwobi situation where I don't even think Iwobi actually makes massive contact with him. He goes on the ground, right? And they equalize. Yeah,
but even
also,
himself
man,
in that game, he was so frustrated, man.
Yeah,
so frustrating.
Also, just to his credit, right? The Prem is a bloody hard place to play. You know,
but I'm not having that because we can all acknowledge. Listen, we can all acknowledge because he's been at Wolves for 3-4 seasons, and he's shown that he can ball in the Prem. I just don't believe that he suits a team that has the onus in games. I think he suits teams that play counter-attacking football. I think he's that type of player, a direct type of player. I don't think he suits a team that makes the play, that controls the ball, that forces the issue. I don't think he fits those type of teams, in my opinion.
Okay, right. Let's take a step back from just for a moment. How many players were bought this season that are doing really well? Can you give me any? And does any come to mind?
That were bought this season?
Yeah.
No one is really coming to mind immediately.
Right. So
not many.
Yeah, not many. So taking a step back, just give him time. Because he's been playing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's been playing at Wolves, and he's obviously used to a style of play, the mentality. You have to get used to, this is an upgrade now. You're not just winning to get points, you're winning to win the league.
Yeah.
It's different now. So for Pedro Neto, he has to, that mind change has to be really quick, or it's going to take him time to get used to it. Because let's face it, and I said it the last time I was here, Chelsea will be a problem next year and the year after. It will be a massive issue. So we'll probably see the best of Pedro Neto in a year's time when he's just doing a madness.
Yeah, I definitely acknowledge the point that he needs to settle in a little bit more at Chelsea because of the mindset. You made some great points there. I definitely acknowledge that point, but I'm just saying so far, he needs to shake that off really quick, man, because Chelsea is also a club that will replace you in a heartbeat as well. I do think he's a better option than Noni Madueke, for example.
Yeah, or Modric.
or Mudryk. So there's that. But yeah, I need to see more from Pedro Neto, man, because I know there's more. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But yeah, there's still plenty of games to go in this particular game week. So it's not, I think Arsenal are playing, United and Chelsea are playing as well, and then yeah, we'll be back next week with another game week as well on Saturday and Sunday. Liverpool versus United, of course. Let's head to the bar, man. Any shots?
Yeah, I got 2 shots.
2.
Yeah.
God damn.
My first shot goes to Bukayo Saka, bro. It's a shame how we got here, brother. But I think most people can see we were gonna get here. So my shot goes to Saka because he's been our most creative player, and we wouldn't like someone. There was a stat like that was brought out that said Bukayo Saka had 30% of Arsenal's goals and assists created. 30%. It's crazy. So my shot goes out to him, and we knew we were getting here. It's just a shame that we've got here, and now reality is hitting harder. But so rest up and come back stronger. I don't mind if you miss the season. You deserve it. Come back stronger, and it'll be a shame if this hampers just your career, because we've seen people like Owen, etc. Get that start very bright and then just get lots of injuries and derails their career. So my show goes out to
hammy. Get a big hammy injury and it's peak. Yeah,
it's peak, and the fact he had his surgery, that's even more peak. Yeah. So Bukayo, rest up. Second shot. I'm a man who accepts things, and I will say things when I see it. It goes out to Liverpool, man. They've been the most informed team. They play like champions. They're being ruthless, and comparing it to my team, I want that ruthlessness. I want that attacking spirit, and you have to give your dues when the dues are needed, and accept that they're the best team so far this season. So for this season, my show goes out to Liverpool. Next season or next year, let's see how they do.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, my shot goes out to Liverpool as well, man. I think most Liverpool fans didn't know what to expect after Jurgen Klopp left and Arne Slot come in. He was relatively unknown to most people in football. But as a club as a whole, we didn't make that many signings as well in the summer, so it was just an unknown territory that we're going into. One thing that I will acknowledge that has saved us is the start that we had in terms of on paper, the fixtures that we had on paper. They were very kind to us, even though there were a few away games that were slippery bananas, but it was kind to us, and I think that set us in a good steady to first of all capitalize on the opponent's failings and go on and have this start that we had, man. So I'm just happy that the way we finished off this first half of the season. I think we've everyone now this half of the season, and we've only lost once. Let's keep going. If we do the exact same thing in the second half of the season, we win the league with 90 points. Calculations have already been done, but I want more, man. I want to do 90 plus points. So let's try and not lose any games. Let's draw a couple, but not lose any games in the second half of the season, man. And yeah, man, let's get our second Premier League 20 to tie up with United overall league titles. That's what the Liverpool faithful really want. But yeah, man, my shot goes out to Liverpool. So yeah, this concludes our final episode of 2024, man. Obviously next year, we're gonna continue again, of course, and then hopefully with a whole new rebrand and everything top to tail. But obviously that will come much later, man. But for now, have a fantastic year. How do you say in English? Year change? In Dutch you say year change, but I don't know what's the new year, but I wanted to use something else. But yeah, have a fantastic new year. We'll see you in the new year, of course, as well. Whether you like to, however you're celebrating it with whomever you're celebrating it with, man. We hope to see you there, man, and be safe, man. And yeah, peace.
See you soon.